everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Adelina and I make videos about living in my tiny house on wheels and living a more intentional life. Can you guess where I am? I am on Vancouver Island. Right now I'm actually in Victoria visiting a friend, and I am loving this blue sky. I mean, look at that. How incredible is that? But I'm actually here to look at two tiny house parking spots that are potentials for serendipity for this spring and summer. And I think one in particular is standing out. So we'll see. I was kind of hoping to see at least one other place, but I haven't heard back from them, so which probably just means that it's already rented out. So this week I'm not going to have a video for you of the parking spots because I haven't seen them yet. Today is Sunday and I am going to go see them this week coming up. So next Sunday you're going to get a video of those and you'll be able to see exactly what they look like and what I think. I'll give you my feedback. So I'm excited about that. But right now I'm just excited to be here and looking at this view. And I'm just going to take you up on that ridge there and show you the ocean from the other side and just give you an idea of why I love this place so much, why I want to be on the island, and it just feels like home. So while I'm out here, I might as well answer some of the more common questions about why I've chosen the area that I have for my new parking spot. Why did I choose British Columbia, Vancouver Island in particular? Well, I think what's in my backdrop is the number one reason. I love the ocean. I don't know if it's my Portuguese heritage or what, but I have always loved the ocean. I mean, I think the mountains are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about being near the ocean, and Vancouver Island in particular, because it is so lush here. It's so beautiful and warm. Yes, there is snow occasionally. Certainly last winter there was a fair amount of snow in British Columbia in general and Vancouver Island as well. But it's not, it's nothing like Alberta. And that is one of the reasons why I want to move here. The climate is just so much better. And I want to spend more time outside. I really want to live somewhere where snow doesn't feel like 3 months of the year. So that's one of the reasons that I've chosen British Columbia in general and Vancouver Island in particular, because I really just love the ocean and I want to be close to it. It would be awesome if I could see it from my window of my tiny house. That's not going to happen right now, but both of the parking spots that I'm looking at are within walking distance of the ocean, and that is very appealing to me. So yeah, that's the number one question I get, is that. You'll have to excuse my hair. So the second question I get asked quite a bit is, how am I going to get the tiny house to Vancouver Island? It is, after all, an island. And I am in Calgary right now, and I have to get it across the mountains and then onto the island. Well, I'm going to be hiring a professional to move the tiny house. I had a professional move it from the builders in Lethbridge to Calgary, and he actually moved it with 1-ton dually. But his truck was the frame was specially reinforced because he moved RVs and boats and things like that, and tiny houses. Now the tiny house is a little heavier now because it's now got furniture in it. Before it had the appliances in it, but it didn't have, and it didn't have a mattress, it didn't have a TV, it didn't have a couch, things like that. Now, it's not a ton of furniture, but it also now has my clothes, and it will have food and such, you know, the contents of the storage spaces in it. So it's going to be a bit heavier. And also because I'm taking it across the mountains, I want to make sure that whoever I hire is specifically trained to move something that big and that heavy through that kind of terrain. So I will be hiring a professional. Obviously, I'll be filming everything, and I'll be letting you guys know what I will be, who I hire, and all of that stuff. I also want to make sure to hire a professional because they will be well insured, and I want my mover to be very well insured. Because my home insurance is not going to cover the tiny house when it's moving. And that means that I need whatever company that I hire to have the proper insurance for the tiny house while it's in transit. So that's how it's coming across the mountains. And then as it's getting to the island, it's coming on the ferry. Like transport trucks do, like gravel trucks do, you know. Anything that needs to come to the island either comes by ship or comes by ferry, and a lot of transport trucks come on the ferry. The house is definitely going to fit on the ferry. I've had a lot of people concerned about that, but if you can fit a transport truck on the ferry, you can fit the tiny house. She is actually shorter than a regular size transport truck. She's only 37 feet long, and she'll be the same height as a transport truck. Another question I get is, what's it going to cost? It's going to be expensive. There's no doubt about it. Estimating, budgeting for $4,000 to $5,000 to have the house transported. And what I don't know is what it will cost to take her across on the ferry. I have no idea what those transport trucks pay. However, I am hiring a professional, so they will have that knowledge and that experience, and they'll manage all of that for me. I will be following her across the mountains, over the mountains, and onto the ferry, and filming the whole thing. And it's going to be pretty darn cool to do that. I think seeing her in transit, is especially going through the mountains, is going to be nerve-wracking and exciting at the same time. Seagull's got something to say about that too. I think the seagull agrees it's going to be really nerve-wracking and exciting at the same time. One of the things I'm looking forward to the most is seeing her on the ferry and coming across. That's going to be really cool. So yes, it's going to be an expensive process. It's expensive to move across the country. And it would be expensive whether you hired a moving truck to move all of your possessions, or like in my case, you hire somebody to move your whole house with all of your possessions. I don't know exactly what it's going to cost me, but I am going to make sure that I talk to multiple different companies. I'm going to ask my builder for recommendations. I'm going to ask a couple other builders that I've talked to in the past for their recommendations and who they use, and then I will make my choice based on that. What I'm not going to do is make my choice based on price, because I have heard too many horror stories of people choosing their mover based on the price that they're being quoted, and then having some horror stories. I don't intend to do that. My house is far too special and valuable to me, personally and emotionally, and obviously financially, to bargain shop for a mover. So I will get references, and I will get recommendations, and then I will talk to them, and I will choose the person that I have the right feeling about and who comes well recommended, which is where I think talking to some builders will really be valuable. And I also need to know and see proof of their insurance, because, like I said earlier, that's really important to me, that they be properly insured so that my tiny house is covered for whatever might happen. I'm estimating anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 to move it. But again, I'm not making my choice based on price. I'll make my choice based on making sure that I have the right company for the job. Okay, so the final question that I think I can answer is what's it going to take to get the tiny house ready to move? Because obviously I have to get things ready inside and outside in order to move the tiny house to anywhere but Vancouver Island in this instance. Well, the first thing I'm going to have to do is have the skirting disassembled and packed up. And also the shed that was built, the custom shed that was built underneath the gooseneck, disassembled and packed up. So I specifically had those things built in a way that would allow them to be disassembled and moved with me because they were an investment. The siding was not inexpensive, and then getting it put on was not inexpensive, like getting it all framed in and everything like that. So I'm going to need to have that disassembled. And I'll probably hire somebody to help me do it, but I will do a lot of the work myself. And then also when it comes time for the move, when it's, the day before or a couple days before, right now it's put up on blocks and the tires are off because the mobile home park that I'm in Calgary required that the tires be off the tiny house and it be skirted in order for it to be in the park, which is quite common. They don't want you driving away in the middle of the night not paying your rent. I get it. So I'm going to have to do that, hire somebody to do that. And I need the tires put back on. The hitch is also off and slid underneath the trailer, so that needs to also be reattached. And everything needs to get ready for the move that way. So it needs to be on its tires with the hitch on, ready to go the day that the mover comes to pick it up. That's not something that you want to be messing with the day of the move. So that's something that needs to be done as well. Now, as far as my clothes go, I think I can leave most of my clothes hanging in the closet. If they slide off the hangers, that's not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about what's stored underneath the bed in the bedroom because that is a storage bed. It lifts up. But I'll make sure that I have wedged things on either side of it and in front of it, between it and the closet, so it doesn't slide around. So it'll just be a strategy of making sure that everything is as secure as possible for that move. We're not 4x4ing. However, we are going up and down the mountains and you are moving at a fast pace. So you want to make sure that things are secure. So one of the reasons, again, like I said, that's one of the reasons that I'm hiring a professional is because they have the ability to move it properly and in the safest way possible. So guys, I think that's about it. It's kind of weird filming in public, but I'm getting used to it. But I just wanted to do this on the beach here and sort of answer some of your questions about the move, let you know the exciting news that I've actually potentially have 2 options. We'll see, they're very different, and next Sunday I will explain the difference of them. I just wanted to let you know that that's what I was doing. Answer some of your questions on how I was going to get the house ready to move. Today is the day that everybody wants to be on the beach, including that guy.